All right, welcome everybody to Hump Day Hangout. This is episode number 495. Again, we're closing in on big episode 500, but got a couple things we're going to do here as we get into questions. We got a couple of announcements, a couple things we want to make you aware of, and then, but before we get to that, want to say hi to the guys, and then we'll jump into it. So, Chris, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Busy as usual. Lots of work, audits and stuff, so quite happy on things.
Nice. All right, and Bradley, how about you?
Good, man. Super busy, but all good. So keep it
All right.
short and sweet.
Yeah, guys, a few words today. Well, I'm also doing pretty good. So there we go.
There we go.
Couple things we wanted to touch base on. One real quick, we've mentioned it before, but we've been working on an update to Syndication Academy. I'm not going to go into all the details of that right now, but Brand Expander has been released to Mastermind members. So they've been going through the content, and we are going to be doing a larger release and letting other people have access to this in the coming weeks, months. We're still looking at a timeline, but that will be coming out soon. And this isn't, just we were talking about this yesterday, and it's not just, hey, we made an update to Syndication Academy. We have really changed some things around. Bradley, do you want to tell people a little bit about it? I don't want to kind of give them a sales page, but like kind of tell them, I
Sure.
guess, the elevator pitch, if you will, of what's going on here.
Yeah. So Brand Expander is the evolution of Syndication Academy to make it to simplify it, to make it a simpler process that doesn't require as many moving parts and basically no maintenance at all, which Syndication Academy was very, very effective for many years. That's all I did in my SEO business for local SEO. And I'm not kidding. It was for several years, all I would do was create syndication networks. And then we would do bulk link spam. So what I call kitchen sink spam to the syndication network properties. And then we would just blog from the client's website with supporting posts that would reference product or service pages on their site and then have an internal link to those pages, and those pages would syndicate out via RSS to the syndication networks. And because we had bulk spammed those profile properties, the syndication network properties, we just pushed a ton of domain authority and link equity into those. And that's back then when that kind of stuff worked. It doesn't work anymore like that. And then, so in other words, whenever we would publish a post and it would syndicate out to those properties, it would receive all that juice, that link equity, because we just bulk spammed those profile URLs, and it would flow through the internal link on the Web 2 assets to the post URL on the money site with an internal link to the top level page, if that makes sense, that we were trying to promote. And that, I mean, for I'd say 3, maybe 4 years, that was all I did to get results for my local SEO clients. And that was all I ever had to do was that. And it was amazing. Until I launched the course syndication, what was called IFTTT SEO, before we got a cease and desist letter from IFTTT for using their name in one of our products. And then we changed it to Syndication Academy. And that process worked for many, many years. And then it started to have a declining effect, but we still did it. But then over time, once my agency really started to grow beyond a certain level, it became a pain in the ass to manage or maintain those syndication networks and the applets, because things would break sometimes. And so it's just a lot of work. And so over time, I started doing it less and less as far as the syndication. But something that we've been teaching in Syndication Academy and never stopped was to constantly go out and identify new properties that you could create a profile and then optimize it well with consistent branding, everything else, and then interlink to other branded properties when possible. And that in it of itself, that part of Syndication Academy, our trainer Essie, she's been doing an update webinar every 2 weeks for several years now, and that's just going through and identifying additional properties, showing how to create a profile, optimize it, interlink it, etc. And so that's all I've done in my own local SEO agency. As far as the Syndication Academy training is, we have, for my own local SEO clients, we just build out those properties over time. And that works incredibly well because you build a lot of it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Doing those properties well, optimizing them well, interlinking them when possible, and making sure Google's aware of them. And so and that goes back to the ID page and everything else. Anyway, long story short is it's a very, very powerful strategy when done consistently over time, you could build a lot of authority and strength to a local entity through this process. And it reaches kind of a critical mass or a tipping point at some point. In tree service industry, it's usually around month 5. I don't know why, but that's where we see kind of the most success from this process. And that's omitting any of the syndication. Like, I don't even do blogging for my tree contractors, my newer tree contractors anymore. We don't do that anymore. We one site template is all they get. This is it. If you want to work with me, this is the site you're getting. And then we don't do blogging and everything else anymore. We found it's just no longer effective, at least for the tree service industry. So, but we do build out those profiles over time. And like I said, sometime around month 5 is when we typically see kind of just an explosion in local search results. And some of that is contributed or attributed, I should say, to the kind of brand expander process. And so that's what Syndication Academy is. We rebranded it as Brand Expander. It's new training. It's eliminated all of the syndication components of it. That training will still be available for people if they want it. You know, Brand Expander will be less expensive than Syndication Academy because it's a simpler product. It's something that you guys should plug a VA into, and that's it. Just have the VA go every time there's new properties that are taught about in the program, have them go implement those for your client locations. Right? That's it. It's a very simple process. It's not really intended for any of you to do. It's really intended for you to assign to a team member, a VA, etc., and have them go through that process and just do it consistently for all of your clients.
Nice. Bradley, real quick, I was just checking. Did you update the redirect?
I did not. Son of a bitch.
No worries. Go slap that on there. And
it's right. And I even had it open too, and I didn't do it.
I just went back and was refreshing something. I'm like, maybe it's my cache, but
yeah, that was me. Sorry. I'm fired. All right. It should be good now.
Cool. So while we're still going here and people are hopping on, the other thing, Bradley, I know we wanted to touch base on was the DHA workshop. So we'll have a few people watching live, but I think this will still be important for people watching the replay who have heard us talking about the directory hybrid agency training and what's going on there. So again, do you mind just kind of telling people what's in the works here, what we're planning? We're still working on the exact dates and all that, but if you want to share kind of what's going on there.
Sure. So we're going to do a DHA 3-day workshop, which is basically kind of getting guys set up for those of you that are doing local SEO client type work. I'm going to give you the front end of it over 3 days. This will be 3 1-hour sessions back to back, Monday through Wednesday. We're still working on the dates, but what it is the first day will be about selecting an industry, going through the process of identifying a valid industry to select, because this whole process is about sticking with one industry. One, not, okay, well, I'm going to learn this and I'm going to go apply it to 8 industries so that I don't limit my the amount of clients that I can take. No, trust me, you will expand your business significantly more if you focus in on one industry and get good in that one industry. You will have so much more success and so much less work. So day 1 is identifying the industry. I will give you a full SOP. I will go through some training on the call, and then you will have full training SOP. It's very thorough. It will help you to validate and confirm that it is a viable industry to select for this process. Day 2 is going to be about creating the brand, which would be, I call the directory hybrid agency brand, right? So that's creating your brand, buying the domains, and then getting set up with the email service that will warm it up. And then eventually will also be, once the emails or domains are properly warmed up, will also be your email sending app, your cold emailing app. We're using Instantly for that. So I will show that to you and show you guys how to configure it and set it up, full SOPs, so that you'll be able to set that up with step-by-step training. So the technical setup is not going to be difficult, I promise you. Okay, that is what hangs most people up. It's the tech setup. We have figured it out. We've got it. I mean, I spent 5 months testing all the kind of different things, and we decided on what we're currently using in the program. And it's actually a pretty easy setup. It's not, and I have full SOPs on it, so you'll get that. And then day 3 is about the messaging sequence, the emailing, creating the sequences, and then doing competition and location research to identify which areas you're going to target first. And so at the end of 3 days, you are going to have your lead generation system built or ready. At least you have all the instructions and the resources to build it, that can then start to produce consistent and steady stream of leads for your agency. With all of you that are struggling with any of financial difficulty, you're struggling financially, or any of you that don't have the kind of revenue that you want in your business, my guess is it's because you're not consistently prospecting and selling your services. So this will solve that, right? And that's what the whole point. And by the way, essentially we're not going to be reopening the DHA program until the first phase is done for the current coaching group is done, which will be in about 10 and a half weeks from now. But all those people that come through the DHA 3-day workshop will be at the top of the list behind mastermind members, just to be clear. Just because that's all mastermind members always get first crack at everything. But for the next round that we open up for the full coaching program, you guys will be on the top of that list. If any of the members that go through the 3-day workshop, essentially. So again, it's kind of a DHA light because we only are going to open up the full coaching program every quarter. It'll be reopened for another cycle. And so it's going to be closed until then, but I want to make sure that we are offering this to a broader audience and giving people kind of the tools that they need to see what the full program is about so that you can make a better educated decision if you want to join the full program when it reopens the next time.
Nice. And yeah, we'll be sending out more.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
does this also apply if I want to scale my business?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is no in my opinion, I've never in my entire career doing SEO work, which is almost 15 years now, have I had a more successful lead generation method than this. So it's really, really good. And by the way, guys, cold email is just crushing it if you know how to get it set up right and there's strategy to it and everything else. And that's something else we're going to be doing in sometime next month, I think, is we're going to have a cold emailing appointment setting company who I use for my white label SEO agencies, who's just he crushes it too. He books all kind. I mean, and so he's going to come and do cold emailing strategy. So we're going to be doing a lot of training on that, guys, because I know from coaching a lot of local SEO consultants and agencies, et cetera. We know that one of the biggest issues that most people have is consistently landing clients. Well, it's because most of the people that I talk to are not consistently prospecting. So let's solve that. Let's spend the next couple of months working on solving the lead generation problem for your own agency. Because if you get your message out in front of enough people, you will generate more revenue. That's full stop. So like make that a priority, right? Not the next SEO tactic. How many next SEO tactics have you learned and how really well has that improved your bottom line, right? Focus in on generating leads for your agency and selling services that you know you can that your clients need. And that's why I select one industry so you can really dial in what that offer is. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's what we're going to be teaching. And I hope you guys, if you're interested, just be on the lookout because more information is coming.
Definitely. And I'll just say real quick, if you're new to Semantic Mastery, please go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. We do like having more subscribers, but also that way you can stay up to date with not only the Hump Day Hangouts, but if you want to ask questions ahead of time at semanticmastery.com/HDHO, there's a link there you can click and you can enter your question ahead of time. And if you're subscribed, you'll get notified when the new videos are posted. We not only just post the Hump Day Hangouts in its entirety, but we chop up the videos into individual Q&A pairs. So really easy to find your answers as well as to get in and dig down into other questions that you may be looking for. So with that said, guys, anything else before we jump into questions?
Just want to say hi to the peeps commenting. What's up, Nigel and Jim? What's up, jerks? Jim, I love that. That's his trademarked greeting. Grant, what's up, Grant? It's been a long time, man. Will, what's up, buddy? Legend James Slattery. What's up, buddy? So good to see you guys. Jim, the full cost of the full program, the first group that's going through right now, it was $2,000. And it's going to go up next time. Just to be clear, it'll go up a little bit next time because it will be more polished, further developed. I'm not sure what final price will be next time. Probably $2,500, something like that, somewhere around that. But it's 12 weeks of intensive coaching. I'm available every day for an hour. I'm doing that every morning right now. I'm on a Zoom meeting I'm available for an hour every day where the coaching members can come in and ask me for specific support. I'll ask them to share their screen and I'll walk them through exactly how to set something up if they run into any trouble. There's a weekly accountability meeting. There's full SOPs for every assignment. So like it's very thorough, but by the time we get done with this first phase, the price will go up because it will be more polished. And some of the bottlenecks hurdles that will be identified through this first group will be fixed between now and then, right? So in each time we do it thereafter, it will likely go up a little bit more, just to be clear. We'll probably bring more people in because I'll be able to serve more people as we get it better developed, if that makes sense. So right now it was only supposed to be 10. There actually was 11 that purchased, and then there's some existing mastermind members that I comped the additional coaching for because they were in the original alpha group, and so they earned it. So there's a total of 14 of us in that small group now. The next time we do it, we'll probably take 15, maybe 20. that's clear. So.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, then let's jump into questions.
All right. There's not many, so that's why I figured we could spend a little bit of time on introductions and pitching our stuff. So let me grab the screen and we'll get into it. Yeah, Jim, it is reasonable because, my goal here is to help people get to their business, start generating revenue in their businesses consistently, because that's the most common thing that I hear from new members in our coaching groups is not having consistency at all in their business. And that goes for revenue, processes, results. Like they don't have consistency anywhere. Except maybe consistently broke or consistently frustrated. That might be the only consistency they have. And so this is my whole goal here is not to really make money from the coaching, that from that side of it. From this, it's to help you guys to make more money so that you stay in the mastermind on a monthly basis or whatever. So right, so that you stay with us for longer, and also because. In full transparency, some of the services that we're offering through this program that we're selling to our clients in whatever chosen industry are, we can fulfill for you through our white label agency services. And so there is a ulterior motive for this program, and that is to have you guys out there selling done for you services that we provide. So that is white label services for us, which is a revenue generator for us, but and also so that you guys have consistency in your deliverables. Because again, most people that I talk to don't have any consistency in the services or the deliverables that they provide to their clients, because it's scattered. It's always custom. It's always, I throw shit at the wall for every project, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But because I did so many different things on every different project, I don't know what it was that I did, what the recipe was that was successful. And so they don't have any consistency. And so we're working on focusing on productized services, repeatable, scalable deliverables that produce results, if that makes sense. And so there will be consistency. You'll be able to make it up in volume. We're selling lower priced services, but we make it up in volume. Right? I'd rather have 100 clients paying me $300 a month than 10 clients paying me $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? Think about it. Because again, if you lose a handful of clients, it's only a small fraction of your overall revenue. If you have 10 clients paying you $3,000 a month and you lose any one client, that's 10% of your revenue, right? That's huge. So I don't like that. I prefer having monthly recurring revenue on a larger scale from a lot of lower paying type of subscriptions, etc., because now it's a much more stable business. And again, getting away from doing all the custom and always results based stuff, guys. It's, in my opinion, that's not the best way to run a business, because you're a commodity. If you don't get results, you're going to be replaced very quickly, right? And if Google changes something, you're going to lose clients because they're going to get mad. And not only that, but if there's another SEO out there or lead generator out there that pitches the same services for lesser price, your client will can you shit can you, because they think they can get it somewhere else. So that's why, like, what we're doing is building systems and processes into. We're not SEOs and lead generators. The whole part of the DHA program is about becoming a business optimizer, right? You help them optimize their business. You build systems and processes into their business so that they're more efficient with everything that they do. Lead generation is not usually the biggest problem, right? Tree guys will always say, I need more leads. Okay, well, walk me through the process of what happens when you get a lead. And then they start telling me, and clearly, through their own words, they realize that they have a really shitty process for following up with leads. So, okay, so it's not really that you need leads. You need a better process. You need a better system for managing those leads. Okay, well, if I can provide that to you, would that be of interest? And then if we provide that to you and now you are more efficient, you can close more of those leads. You can create more closed sales from the same amount of leads that you currently have. Then you'll be positioned you'll be in a much better position to handle more leads, right? So maybe you don't need leads first. Maybe you need a better process, a better system. We can help you with that, right? So you get yourself away from always being the SEO, which is just a commodity, and working on becoming a marketing and business professional that can help them optimize their business and their revenue. Then you become almost invaluable. It's really hard to replace you then. And even the other part of that is you get them plugged into your systems, your services. Their business comes to rely on them. So they become a lot stickier because it's a lot harder to disentangle from you and your services if their businesses rely on it, right? When you're just generating leads, you're a commodity, right? And SEO is lead gen. By the way, how many of you have experienced that where you are generating leads for a client, but they tell you that your leads suck? Okay, well, it's not probably that your leads suck. It's probably that they have a shitty process. And if they don't answer the phone for the leads that you generate, then they're going to tell you that your leads suck. But it's not that your leads suck, it's that they're not answering the phone. Right. And with contractors, that happens a lot. So I say this a lot for tree service guys. A lot of tree guys don't want to use like a high level app. So I have a lead management app that I try to get most of my tree guys to use. Most of them don't want to use it. Let's just be 100% transparent about it. It's a 5-stage pipeline. It's not hard to learn how to use. Most tree guys just don't want to use it. Okay, fine. We'll set up an answering service instead. At least if we have a call center that is answering the phone when I lead calls instead of it going to voicemail, then at least you're going to get you're going to get more of those leads. You're going to end up actually bidding on those jobs, right? Instead of missing out on them. And so for tree guys for 10 years now, 11 years, well, 10 years, I guess it was 2014 when I started using answering services. So for 10 years, I've been using answering services. And on average, the tree contractors that I implement an answering service for increase their revenue by 30%, even after the cost of the answering service, with no additional leads generated. It's from their existing lead sources. They increase their revenue by 30%. So again, is it that they need more leads, or do they need better system? Do they just need an answering service to where the leads that are coming in are getting serviced immediately, right? So there's a bunch of different things that we can do that aren't always SEO based that are going to help local businesses get better results. And so again, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just tired of working my ass off in SEO just to be replaced as soon as they find somebody else that offers the same thing for a cheaper price. Right. So I'm trying to get away from all of that. I'm trying to help you guys do the same. And this process, this DHA program is the first step in that, which is to really kind of niche down, get your messaging right. Then you start dialing the offer in and you focus on sales, baby, sales. Right? That's where the revenue is made. It's not in the fulfillment. You have to have fulfillment, obviously, to maintain integrity and fulfill for your clients, which you promised. But stop promising them the moon, right? Sell them a guaranteed service, a guaranteed deliverable, not a guaranteed result. You can do that, but only add those kind of layers of complexity after you've built kind of a foundation of monthly recurring revenue on products and services and systems, right? Because now you've got stable revenue. If you want to add that service-based or results-based kind of layers on top of that, you certainly can. But you already have a stable foundation that supports your business, your operations, your overhead, your personnel, so employees and VAs, et cetera, and your own personal income. Let's not forget about that, right? So again, it's just about just having a better business model, in my opinion, than just what most of us in the local SEO space have done, which is, always focus on SEO, Google Maps ranking, lead generation, et cetera. When we know that that's not, there's a lot more to operating a successful local business than just the leads. There's a lot more to running an SEO business than just knowing SEO, right? So all this has come from experience, guys. I've gone through every single one of those things that I said don't do. I've done every one of them. So it's not that I'm any better. I've just 15 years in this business and I found a better way is all. And I'm trying to share that with you guys. So anyway, there's only 3 questions today. So let's get through them and then we'll kind of chat around if we can. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up. Hey, Bradley, it's 2024 and things change quickly in the SEO world. Do you still use booster pages? If so, what role does the service play in your strategy? Thanks in advance. Yes, I do. I have 3 enterprise accounts and we max out on the number of links that we can submit every month for all 3. And so, but I use them, and I don't know why this question, maybe there's been another pitch or a promotion recently for booster pages. It wasn't from us, but I've had like multiple questions about booster pages in just the last 3 days, out of the blue. Like it's been months since anybody's ever asked a damn thing about booster pages, and all of a sudden in the last 3 days, I've had multiple booster pages questions from multiple people. I don't understand why. There must be some sort of promotion going on that I'm unaware of, and that's perfectly fine. Yes, I still use it. What I use it for is automated indexing, essentially, is the way I use it. I do not link directly to MoneySite with it. You could. I don't. I only link to MoneySite and branded assets with high quality relevant links. Okay, that's it. I stopped using kind of spammy type links. I'm not saying booster pages is spammy, but they're not the highest quality or strength links. What booster pages is good for is co-citation, right? Because if you select the appropriate topical categories, and there's a lot of them, but if you submit the URLs that you're submitting to booster pages to the appropriate category, then what it does is it creates co-citation with a bunch of other links that should also be in those same categories. So that's what's called co-citation. And it's when it kind of commingles, right? When you are along, when your links to your product or service pages or whatever are among other links in close proximity to other links that are also in the same topical categories, if that makes sense. So it's something that I use for RSS feeds only. I do not go into booster pages and submit individual links. I've had several questions about that in the last couple of days. I do it purely through via RSS feed submission. So I set it up one time and then I'm done. I never have to touch it again. And I do RSS feeds from Web 2.0 properties, Press Advantage organization page, anything that I'm, PBN sites, if I've got PBN sites, things like that. I'm going to take the RSS feed, submitting the booster page, select the appropriate category, and then I'm done. I never touch it again. And that's it. And some people have asked recently, well, what links should I submit? Well, keep in mind, if you, at least unless they have an automated way to now add images, if you submit links to booster pages that don't have a featured image, it will reject it. Like, in other words, it won't post because it has to have the booster pages sites are like pinvid sites or whatever they're called. They're like Pinterest sites. So it's image driven. So if you don't have featured images on your post URLs, they'll get rejected, or unless Damon may have changed that recently. I don't know. But from my understanding that it won't post if it doesn't have a featured image. And in some of the topical categories, it has image packs that you can assign. Like, it'll give you that option when you select certain categories that it has like some image packs that will automatically assign images, then that's fine. But if they don't have them, then they just don't, they won't submit. So that's why I said I only use RSS feeds, because those are going to be posts that have featured images. And it's automated. That way I don't ever have to mess with it again. Do we do it one time when we set up projects, campaigns for clients or whatever? We go in and we submit all the RSS feeds to booster pages, and then we're done. After that, it's set and forget. And that's the way I do it. I use it more of an indexer than anything else. Like I said, it creates co-citation, but I use it more as an indexer than anything else. Good luck trying to rank something with booster pages, guys. I don't think that's the purpose of it. At least that, in my opinion. I know that Damon promotes it as a different way, and will say you can link to your money site, and you probably can. I don't think that would cause any problems, but I don't. Just to be clear, I don't link to my money site with it. It's purely as kind of a tier 2 automated indexer. Really, that's what I use it for. All right. Jared says, a local competitor of mine has paid for reviews. They are a small pest control company with 5 technicians and only been in the area for 2.5 years. They have over 2,700 Google business reviews. You can tell the majority are fake by the reviewers leaving stock images for photos of the service, stock photos of the reviewer, and believe it or not, many of them say at the bottom X is the best pest control company and have identical text. It's crazy to me that Google hasn't done anything about this, considering several local companies in the industry have complained and filed reports with Google using their report tool. Is there anything else that can be done? I feel this is a breach of trust and highly misleading the consumer who's blind to this type of tactic. Is there any way to speak with someone directly on Google, or are we left at the mercy of their tools? Cheers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. First of all, I've never actually I've never reported a Google business profile in my entire life, and I won't. And it's just a karma thing. Like, honestly, I'm not. Look, I understand where you're coming from, Jared, and so it's your call. I don't look down on anybody that reports other GBPs. Well, it depends on. In some cases, I do look down on them. I can understand if a local business does it, but if you're an SEO and you're reporting other GBPs, then what comes around goes around. Just be clear. And so, karma's a bitch, and I'm not, look, I understand what they're doing is incredibly spammy, and it's basically fraud, really. I mean, it is fraud, by the way. It's another reason why you don't want to look. The FCC really started cracking down. I don't think it was last November. It might have been last November, or maybe the November before, but like the FCC really started cracking down. You can get brought up on federal charges for posting fake reviews, or the business can. And if you're a company providing fake reviews, you can look out, because it can happen. You can also be brought up on state charges by the state corporation, or excuse me, state's attorneys general for each state, depending on the state, because in some states it's illegal, a state law. And you can also be sued by Google. No kidding. So you got to be really careful about all that. So speaking to you, Jared, like those are other alternative options that could potentially take this company down is if they were, sued or brought up on charges. And then obviously that can then go to the company that they're buying their reviews from. That can also transfer to them. They can get caught up in that too. But like I said, I've never reported anybody because I do lead gen. I've got lead gen assets out there. So I always just wanted to beat them at their own game, not by reporting them, but by just doing better SEO. And so just to be clear, I've never reported anybody and I don't recommend it, but I do understand where you're coming from. And I can also understand your business, your client, being incredibly frustrated too. So if anything, you know, I would put it more off on them so that I would be able to sleep at night. You know what I mean? Like I tell the client, well, here's how you can report them, but I wouldn't do it myself, if that makes sense. Just because again, I have had many of my own suspended over the years, and I know that I've had, for example, I had a tree service contractor. It was a lead buyer of mine, and I fired his ass because he was cheating. It was a revenue share agreement that we had, and he was lying to me about jobs that he said he wasn't closing that I know damn well he closed. I gave him one opportunity to come clean, and he lied to me, and so I fired his ass. And about a week later, 4 of my GBPs that he was getting leads from were suspended. So so again, I hate doing that to others because it's been done to me. But I could recommend would be to, contact Google and report it. We had on my semantic links GBP about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, some random 1-star review came through that was said total scam. And that was it. It was a 1-star review and it said total scam or something like that. Never heard the guy. I went and checked my database and high level and my SPP, which is the dashboard I use and all my clients are in there. I checked vetted. I checked everywhere. Not a single that person didn't exist. So I contacted Google support through Maps and reported, and all I said report abuse, and that's what I did. I reported it as abuse, and I mentioned I don't know who this is, and I replied to that comment in the GBP, and I said, I have no record of you anywhere. If this is an actual valid review, please contact us, and we'll resolve whatever issue you had. And 24 hours later, that review was gone. I've never actually experienced that where I've reported a review and it was a bad review and it was taken down. But for whatever reason, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I reported as a report abuse or whatever, and as I flagged it as inappropriate, spam or inappropriate, and then and within 24 hours it was gone. So that's something else you might want to try is reporting it as well. I am a Google local guide, so I don't know if that had something to do with it or not, but you could always try that and see if that would help. So just report abuse and then flag it as spam or inappropriate, and then provide them with some examples, and then maybe Google will take a closer look. But like I said, just be careful. Look, I do get it. I understand. I just personally never wanted to do it because karma's a bitch and it will come around. But I encourage you guys not to do that fake reviews. Like I stopped doing that kind of stuff quite some time ago because it's no light matter anymore, right? You can get yourself in serious trouble over that shit now. So just be careful, guys. That's all I'm saying. All right, moving on. SM used to, Grant says, SM used to recommend Jeffrey Smith's SEO Ultimate Pro or Plus plugin many years ago. Is there a newer plugin or product that you currently? I use SEO Press. SEO Press Pro is what I use, but they have a free version too. Yeah, I know, Jeff. That was a great plugin for many years, but that was a long time ago, Grant. And you're right, the support, I don't know if it's non-existent anymore or it's just really slow, but that plugin started conflicting with a lot of page builders and things like that as I, over the years, as I kind of progressed in using Elementor and all that kind of stuff. And so I stopped using that several years ago, and I used Rank Math for a while. But then I got introduced to SEO Press and I like that one better. So I've been using SEO Press Pro for the last probably 2 years, although I try to stay the hell out of WordPress entirely now, if at all possible. I honestly can't stand WordPress anymore. It's ridiculous how many updates there are and how insecure it is. And so now I really try to focus on just building websites in high level. It's much more stable, much more secure, less hosting, less maintenance, all of that. So sorry I can't help you with that. I mean, I would, maybe try to reach out if you can catch him on Facebook or something. Jeffrey Smith, you might be able to get some support that way. I don't know what to tell you. So I don't use it anymore. And I don't recommend using it anymore just because I don't think it is supported anymore. Maybe it is, but if so, if they're not answering support tickets and that kind of stuff, then it's not something I would want to use, right? You have to be able to get a product supported, guys, or it's worthless, I think. Good questions, though. Only a few, but they were good. Okay, guys, we only have a handful of comments too, so looks like we'll be able to wrap up early today. Grant, what's up, Cecilia? Grant says, sounds like Booster Pages is the up-to-date solution for co-citation. I'm still using Rank Feeder. No, so to be clear, Rank Feeder is good, man. It's still good. I haven't done any specific testing with it in probably 3 years, maybe even 4. So it's been a while, but that is precisely what Rank Feeder is for producing co-citation and then also for producing those feeds that then you can push out to various places. However, unless it's been changed, which I don't know that it has, if you tried to like syndicate stuff from an Rank Feeder feed, it really looked ugly. And so it wasn't like a lot of the times if you used that to syndicate to like Web 2s and stuff, the Web 2s would get suspended because it looked really spammy. So it was really only good for creating the co-citation feed. And then there was an HTML version of that feed that you could build links to, which could become a link building target. So you could do like serious link building to that. And then also for submitting to like RSS aggregators and stuff. And also for embedding that Rank Feeder feed. So remember, you can create an embed code from that couple of ways. You can use the HTML version of it and just iframe it. Or you can go to Google Feed Burner and create what they call a Buzz Boost embed code out of it. And then you could take that embed code, because essentially what you do is take the RSS feed and you submit it to Google, and then you get a Google RSS feed from it. So it's everything going through a Google property, and then you could get a Buzz Boost embed code from Rank Feeder. You have to enable that option, and then you get the embed code, and then you could embed that into the ID page. And that's dynamic updates to the ID page from various sources that should all be relevant. So Rank Feeder is, in my opinion, still valid if it still works. I haven't tested it forever. But Booster Pages is just an easier and automated way to do it from just via RSS feeds from any assets that have RSS feeds where you're publishing content to regular. So that's why we use it. It's so much simpler, a lot less setup, and it's just about, again, co-citation, where those post URLs will mingle among other links that should be in the same kind of categories as well. Okay, I think that's it. Will Scott says RankMath does the best job of managing advanced schema. Yeah, I've heard that. I've not tested with it because I don't like to use plugins for schema. I just usually use manual schema on the homepage and the location landing pages, and then everything else I just use inlinks usually for. And now I use Jasper's schema writer to create the schema for the landing pages. Were you going to say something, Adam?
Nope, just showing my pretty face here at the end.
Oh, okay. Grant says, thank you, Bradley. By the way, I'm just getting back into SEO again after a couple of years in inactivity. That's why I'm asking these questions. Well, you're welcome, Grant. And please feel free to join us every Wednesday and ask as many questions as you want. That's what we're here for.
That's cool. You mentioned PoFu Live. I was about to say, like, yeah, I remember Grant from PoFu Live.
Yep. Next one is, believe it or not, my income is still supplemented by the work I did during the first PoFu event, 50 GMB challenge, all from just a couple of months of work in late 2018. That's awesome, Grant.
Nice.
I wish I would have drank my own Kool-Aid on that one. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we're done. We got done a few minutes early today. I can certainly use the additional time, so I appreciate everybody here. We do have a mastermind webinar tomorrow, and I'm going to be covering 2 different kind of audits for members of our group on how I would apply the kind of site structure and stuff that I've been teaching recently about page structure, site structure, and internal linking, how to apply it to 2 different projects. One's an agency project, another one's a roofing contractor. So I'm going to be covering that very thoroughly tomorrow. If anybody's interested, we'll be on the mastermind webinar tomorrow. Oh, Anselmo squeezed one more in. Okay, you bastards. Anselmo says, Bradley, for entity optimization, you said to say who you are, what you do, and where. Had tried putting service as the subject. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's as long as those 3 elements, right? Semantic triplet, there's object, predicate, subject, or something like that. I'm not a grammar major, so I probably have that order screwed up. But the simple way to explain it to people for us that aren't English majors, is who you are, what you do, and where you do it. Those three elements. If you have that present, you can rearrange the order. It doesn't matter. So you could be what you do, where you do it, who you are. It can be where you are, what you do, who you are. It doesn't matter. It's those three, whatever combination you want. It doesn't matter. It's about formatting the SEO title, the document title, right? Remember, Google is a document retrieval system. Pages are documents. Google treats web pages as documents. So the SEO titles of those documents or pages, which is the SEO title, that is the document title. If you top level pages, you kind of assert the relationship or associations between brand, product or service, location. You constantly reinforce that through SEO titles, and in how you associate pages together is how you make Google understand who you are, what you do, and where you do it because of your site structure. Remember, page structure, site structure, internal linking. Those three things. If you get it right now in local SEO, content is almost unnecessary. I'm not kidding. Like, you can prune content down to its bare minimum. And as long as you have page structure, site structure, internal linking done properly, you can rank in local search right now. It's crazy how very little content you need to be able to achieve results if you structure those three things properly. And so it doesn't really matter which order you put them in, if that's clear. All right. Okay, enough. Let's run away before someone asks a question.